Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, D3 Talks Gamer, here to share with you a rather interesting discussion video to share with you guys today, as I will be just giving you my initial thoughts and really want to hear you guys' thoughts on the idea of whether or not console cycles, specifically for the PlayStation, should be extended longer than they usually are. Because right now, we're in a very interesting period in terms of the current lifespan of the PlayStation 5, and as we were definitely getting close because there's been early talks of the PlayStation 6, and whether or not should we hold off on them releasing the next gen consoles, because I'm just not sure if it's necessarily time. Now, if you do happen to enjoy this video by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep tracking me on my future videos. And remember, if any of you guys have any ideas for any future videos you'd like to see, please let me know what you'd like me to talk about, and whether it's like a review or a ranking or just a discussion, and I will try to get it out as soon as I can. Also, before I start, I just want to let you guys know that I did happen to see today's Japan State of Play. Outside of reimagined Dragon Age 7, they really didn't show off or announce anything that I was really too interested in. But to be fair, the last number of State of Plays really haven't been all that interesting. And I think it's also fair to say that we should celebrate that the PlayStation 5 has now officially surpassed and outsold the Xbox 360. So I think it's probably a fair assumption to make that by 2027, that the PlayStation 5 might actually hit 100 million units sold, which that would be an amazing achievement. Now, going back into the thought of whether or not console cycles should be increased, I was actually looking on Twitter, or X as they call it, and I found this little page here of like Sony's CFO says that PlayStation 5 is only middle of its life cycle and that they want to extend the life cycle even further. I'm okay with this. Like, the typical lifespan of a console, especially when it comes to usually the Sony brand, is about 7 years. Like, the PlayStation 4 was announced and released in 2013, and the PlayStation 5 was announced and released in 2020. It's kind of crazy that 5 years have already gone by, and to be fair, it really hasn't. It's gone by really, really fast. And in my personal experience, I just don't think I've played enough games that I have felt really fully fulfilled. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think that the PlayStation 5 is a major leap over the 4. It kind of feels like a souped up 4, with primarily the only real improvements that I've experienced is maybe the addition of ray tracing for some of the games and the controllers. I definitely think that the DualSense controller is a major improvement over the DualShock. But that's about it. Other than that, I mean, it's nice that I can still play a lot of my PlayStation 4 games on my PlayStation 5, because, the PlayStation 4 was not backwards compatible in the physical sense, which is probably the only thing I don't like about the PlayStation 4. So I'm happy that we can play backwards games. But yeah, like, I'm not sure if we really need, because there's already been early talks of the PlayStation 6. I'm just like, I don't think we necessarily need it. I don't think we need it right now. Like, I would be totally fine if it came out in 2030. And here's another thing that's also problematic with a typical cycle, which is about 7 years, is I don't think this gives developers enough time to make enough key PlayStation exclusive titles in one life cycle. Give you a general example. Like, the typical development period for AAA title for PlayStation Studios is like, 3 to 5, sometimes a little bit longer years. And in that period of time, you only have enough time to get maybe one game out. And then you're probably in the early stages of making the next game, but by the time you get done with that game, you have to make it for the next gen consoles. I think we should get to a period where they release like at least a minimum of 1 or 2 games definitively for this generation. Like, I go back to a couple of games, and just a couple examples, like God of War Ragnarok and Horizon. Those are cross-generational games. Those were games that were released on both the 4 and the 5. And because of that, I think that a part of it perhaps wasn't fully committed to really showing off what this game could do if it was a definitive PlayStation 5 game. And in my personal experience over these last 5 years, I've played probably less than 5 games that I would say are feel like really, really take full advantage of the PlayStation 5 at its maximum, and are games that you can't play on the 4. And I think we need more games like that. I mean, I think recently they only just recently discontinued making productions for the PlayStation 4, but there's still a lot of people still enjoying and playing the PlayStation 4 and have not gone over to a PlayStation 5 yet. I do think eventually that will come. But yeah, I mean, I've even heard that there's talks like instead of 7 years, they want to increase it to like 10 years. So instead of the PlayStation 6 coming out in 2027, it might come out in 2030. which would give the PlayStation 5 an entire decade to kind of build up its library and build up a much stronger collection of definitive PlayStation 5 games. I mean, some of those games will definitely be released on PC at some point, but that's a whole nother thing. But I just think that we're at that point. I mean, with increased development cycles, you need a longer life cycle to make more definitive PlayStation 5 games. And I think that's the direction that we're going. I'm not sure if they'll go down that right, but I'm just saying that's where I think we are going. And if we do that, I personally think that's a good thing. Because trust me, the PlayStation 5 is going to be around for quite some time. And I'm really not sure what major improvement, what they could add to make the PlayStation 6 feel really, really definitively better than the 5. Because as I stated earlier, I don't even think the 5 is really a major improvement over like a PlayStation 4 Pro, which, that's just my opinion. I mean, there's definitely a big difference between, say, something like the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3. There is a massive difference, but not so much between the 4 and the 5. So I hope this is very much the case. But what do you guys think? This is just a short little video. Are you expecting that the PlayStation 6 will come out in 2027? Or would you prefer that they wait a little bit longer? That way, more developers have more time to get out more entries or more games within a certain cycle, and therefore they don't have to make games that are like cross-gen. And this kind of encourages more people to finally make the jump from, say, the previous generation to the current generation, and then we can kind of build up and have a much stronger library, and then it can feel truly definitive. And that way, it gives it more time to actually, makes its mark. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. Again, if you like this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Be checking out future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll catch you guys next time.